Hi folks, Steve Hindy here for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness. In our last two videos, we exposed Jeff Franklin, the sheriff of Clay County, Nebraska, first for abusing his authority during an illegal traffic stop of a shark investigator on November 6, 2015. But that was just the beginning of the story. In the days that followed, Sheriff Franklin conducted a slanderous propaganda campaign against shark in the Nebraska media. In response to Franklin's slander, we had no choice but to go into action to show just who the real crooks are. On November 12, an official public information request was mailed and faxed to the Sheriff's Department to obtain the police dash cam footage, among other documents. The Sheriff's dash cam footage would prove that the traffic stop was illegal and that the Sheriff's claim that our investigator was speeding was a lie. According to state law, the maximum response time for Freedom of Information requests is 4 business days. Sheriff Franklin did not answer the Freedom of Information request. On November 23rd, a letter was sent to the Clay County attorney, but again received no response. On November 25, having received nothing from either the sheriff or Clay County attorney, a letter was sent to the Nebraska Attorney General. Finally, on December 2, Sheriff Franklin called to inquire where he could send his response to the Freedom of Information request. That's almost 3 weeks to respond to a request that the law says has to be responded to in 4 business days. During that phone call, Sheriff Franklin stated that there would be no dash cam footage because he had allowed his recorder to overwrite the file. Now this is where we need to remember that Sheriff Franklin was falsely claiming to the local media that we had committed a number of crimes. A story in the November 13 edition of the Lincoln Journal-Star newspaper said this, quote, Clay County Sheriff suspects animal welfare activists could be connected to a string of reported break-ins and trespasses, unquote. In the November 12 edition of the World Herald, Sheriff Franklin referenced shark and made the following statement. You have the right to protest peacefully, the sheriff said, but when you go to other means and you start damaging, burning, intimidating, or threatening, you've crossed a line. In the November 18 edition of the Clay County News, Sheriff Franklin stated, it's almost a terroristic-like approach that this group is bringing to the area. Now ask yourself, if Sheriff Franklin actually believed any of those claims, is there any way on earth that he would have allowed the video file of his traffic stop of this, quote, almost terroristic-like, unquote, group to be deleted? But wait, there's more. In that December 2 phone call I had with Sheriff Franklin, after he told me that he had allowed the video file to be deleted, he claimed that he offered to allow our investigator, the one he illegally stopped, to view the dash cam video and that the investigator refused. I knew that was a lie because I had seen the entire video of the traffic stop from our camera. There was never any such offer. I asked the sheriff to repeat his statement so I could make certain that I had not misinterpreted him. Sheriff Franklin again claimed that he had offered to allow our investigator to look at the dash cam video and that our investigator refused. I subsequently asked Sheriff Franklin to put that in writing, but he has not. And my guess is that today he will deny having ever said it, but he did, twice, and it was a lie. There's another claim from Sheriff Franklin that we can absolutely prove is a lie. It comes just as Sheriff Franklin is completing his illegal traffic stop of the shark investigator.
Sir?
Yep.
Just to clarify one thing they wanted me to clarify with you, I am to confiscate the drone if it goes onto federal grounds. So if I see it on federal grounds, I will have to confiscate it.
The materials we finally received in the response to our Freedom of Information request includes recorded conversations the Sheriff's Department did have with Homeland Security. The Sheriff's Department wanted Homeland Security to come out, and Homeland Security repeatedly refused.
Go ahead, 930.
Is there security en route?
They're an hour and a half away. You guys can go ahead and let them go.
At absolutely no time did anyone whatsoever from Homeland Security or anywhere else asked Sheriff Franklin to confiscate our aircraft if he saw it fly over U.S. Mark. That is just another lie from Clay County Sheriff Jeff Franklin, on top of his other lies, and his illegal traffic stop, and his repeated slander in the media, and his violation of our rights. Unfortunately, the Attorney General's office is declining to take any action against the sheriff for his shenanigans or even to investigate him. Clearly, the good old boy system is alive and well in Nebraska. The obvious purpose of Sheriff Franklin's bullying behavior is to curry favor with the U.S. Meat Animal Research Center, or USMARC. USMARC is a federally funded facility that conducts horrific experiments on cows, pigs, and sheep. In January 2015, USMARC was exposed in the New York Times for its abuses, and this is apparently the way USMARC is going forward. Rather than stopping the abuses, USMARC will find people like Sheriff Franklin to try to bully people. Since our first video of Sheriff Franklin and USMARC went up, we've received a number of emails from people in the area to tell us that Franklin has long been a bully in Clay County. Well, I said it before, and I'll say it again. Shark doesn't back down to bullies. And we'll be only too happy to prove that to USMARC, Sheriff Franklin, and anyone else in Nebraska who needs to learn the lesson. I want to mention one other thing. There were actually 2 illegal stops on November 6. One was that shark investigator, and the other was the vehicle I was driving. I was stopped by a Clay County Sheriff's deputy at the order of Sheriff Franklin. The deputy who stopped me was just following orders. He gave me no ticket, nor did he give me a warning, and he was at all times cordial and professional. He was simply following the orders of his boss, Sheriff Franklin. As a result, we have not and do not expect to post the video of that deputy because he seemed like a good cop. Shark is not out to get good cops. We will not hesitate, however, to expose lying, corrupt cops like Clay County Sheriff Jeff Franklin, and the sheriff and USMARC can take that to the bank. I'm Steve Hindy for Showing Animals Respect and Kindness.